everyone. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming Jackie Morrison, a second grade teacher from Fulton Elementary School. Welcome, Jackie.
Hi.
Hi. You know, I was a second grade teacher too.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was my favorite grade. So, Jackie, we've had such a change in our life in terms of how we do schooling. And I know you have been working really hard, as all of our teachers. Can you talk a little bit about some of the biggest successes in transitioning from classroom traditional to now distance learning?
Sure. There are two things that I would like to highlight. First is that class Zoom meetings have been such a great experience for both myself and for my students. It has given us a way to connect, to check in, to go over activities on Seesaw, how to do them, and to review content. My kids are constantly begging me to please teach us some math or do something that we can learn. And I'm here let's just play a fun game. But they really miss that socialization and interaction that they get between teachers and students and students and students. So I've been trying to really make sure they have that opportunity. Another success is using Seesaw as a platform for online learning. Since Seesaw has the ability to choose how students show their learning, from writing to drawing to typing to recording their voice, I have seen students show their thinking in ways that I have not seen all year in the classroom. My shyer students or more withdrawn students have been blowing me away with some of their answers. And I'm like, where have you been all year? They've been doing an awesome job. And families have really stepped up to support their students. I hear them in the background of the videos like, hey, what do you say next? Or how does that connect to the question they asked you? And they've done a really awesome job at supporting their students. And I can see it now. I know they're helping them at home with their homework, but I don't see that when it comes back to school.
No, that's great. That's great. You know, one of the things that is challenging is that now, especially for young kids, students need a lot of family support, whether it's even just logging in, doing the work. I mean, on the one hand, it's great because they're connecting and interacting. But on the other hand, sometimes parents are struggling. What do you think were some of the biggest struggles that teachers have in this new learning?
I know that I'm not alone in saying one of my biggest challenges is connecting with all the students and families on a regular basis. It has taken us some very creative ways to get in touch with some families. And then even after we initially get in touch with them, we can't keep communication between families on a regular basis. We're always trying to figure out how to get in contact with that student or that family. And most of the time I'm just worried, are they safe? Are they healthy? I haven't heard from them in a week. And in school, I can at least check in with them. But when you don't have any face-to-face and they're not coming to Zooms and they're not doing their Seesaw activities, and I can't get a hold of their parents, phone numbers don't work, it is a little bit stressful and worrisome because I've had this whole year to connect with them and now I have not heard anything from them.
Yeah. That is also one of my biggest worries. I was just thinking about that before you and I got on this call together. It's how many kids have we not connected with, and why not? What's happening? What can we do? So I know that our SFRSs are reaching out and school counselors, but it is stressful not to know, and especially when they're so young.
They definitely rely on their parents right now for everything. And I know, I have a first grader and he still needs me to be okay, so you finished that. He uses Seesaw and he goes to Manham Township. Okay, you finished it. You still need to submit that. Oh yeah. What have you been doing over here?
Right. So that's another big challenge. And I'm sure there are many challenges, but I know it's a big challenge for our staff like you who have their own babies at home.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to be a mom, you have to be a teacher of your own child, and you have to be a teacher for your classroom. So how's that been working for you?
That is definitely an interesting phenomenon around here because I try to in the morning get his work done because I know he's the most focused, but he whines and complains the most about it. But then I can do spend the rest of the day doing what I need as long as I know his stuff is done. But even when I have to run into school or do something, if my mom is watching him, she's not always able to know what she needs to do with him, and he's acting like he has no idea what he's doing. So then I'm still need to come back and make sure he has what he needs done, and then take care of my students. But he's also been jumping in on Zooms with my class too,
Oh,
which has been fun.
yeah, that is fun. But yeah, I know it's very stressful. You know, I can see it in people's faces, and especially people that I know have younger children, because I know it's a lot and very demanding on your time, but also your social emotional wellness, trying to do everything. And, you know, we need to help our people understand that we're not going to be perfect at this. We've just started it and we're getting better and better at it, but we can't expect perfection. And I don't want people to stress out to that level.
I agree with you on that.
What's another big, well, rather than a challenge, tell me what has been the greatest impact on you in this transition?
Well, my technology skills have increased greatly in such a short amount of time. I have been doing lots of PDs and research on my own, just trying to figure out new and better ways to help students through online learning. And moving forward, I cannot wait to use all of what I've learned back in the classroom. I keep thinking forward, like we are going to be back in the classroom at some point, and I know that creating differentiated lessons in Seesaw for small group instruction is going to increase my ability to reach all students and their needs in ways that I've only dreamed of. So I'm really excited. I've been using Seesaw since January in my classroom, but I never had this much time to like dive into it and find all the different aspects of it. So now that I know how to use the program to its fullest potential, I can't wait to like actually be able to do that in my classroom with my students and show them what I need them to do with it as well.
Yeah, no, it is although stressful, it's also an exciting time, right? Because we're all learning so much. I know I'm constantly researching, you know, how to open up the schools, right? So what's Denmark doing? What's Japan doing? There's just so much going on. And in a way, we're all in it together, the whole world, right?
Yeah, no one wrote any directions about how to teach through a pandemic yet, so.
Yes, right? No courses in that.
None.
So if you could give your colleagues one suggestion as we navigate this new normal, what would that be?
My suggestion would be to be kind to yourself and to others. I know Jess Garrigan had said last week, but I'm going to say it again, that you're going to spend a lot of time working on a lesson that you think is really great. And then you find out that it doesn't work the way you want it to. Technology does not always go the way you planned it to, and that's okay. Be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. And take time to connect with others. I have seen the most collaboration between staff members on grade level teams, across grades, even from different schools than I've ever seen in my entire years of teaching. And we're all in this together. We are all here to support each other and our students and our families and our community. And I'm really proud to be part of the staff. I found so many great connections, and I'm so excited when I see people like, hey, I finally got it. And like they email me back like, I figured it out, thanks. So it's been a really fun experience.
That's great. Yeah. So even in the midst of a pandemic, there's always a silver lining around,
always.
You know, some clouds. And I really appreciate your enthusiasm and your coming on, everyone. This is Jackie Morrison from Fulton Elementary School. Let's give her kudos. And thank you for being here, Jackie. Really appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you're working so hard and giving yourself grace, because that's really important. And thank you for the message that you sent to our teachers as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.